100%. The game is so different.
In what ways? Hold on. Welcome to the Eskandy Sports Podcast. This is episode, I don't even remember, part 2 with NPH scout Efe. Efe, continue your thought.
No, I was just saying.
It's different from...
It's different. Some things always stay the same, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, if you're good, like, people will see you. But it's different now, especially with the transfer portal. Yeah. So I think kids are starting to catch on now in terms of being recruited and really what's going on in this space right now. So with the portal, like, one, guys had an extra year to come back, which kind of messed things up. Yeah. And then two, now with that, like, you got to put yourself in, like, the coaches' minds in the NCAA. So they're getting paid X amount of dollars, obviously, like, they're trying to win right away. It's the coach's game, right? So they want to stay older. Yeah. So one, like, if you're a post grad, like, you're the last, like, line of person they're kind of looking at. Right. And if you're coming straight out of high school, they're not even looking at you. Like, they're going to tell you, go back to school. Yeah. So they want JUCO kids, they want D2s who have experience, or they want D1 transfers.
But, like, why would that change now? Isn't it always the name of the game, like, the coaches want to win as many games as possible? Or is it just because, like, we had this, like, blacked out year?
It's the blacked out year. Yeah. It's basically free agency. Yeah. That's what it is.
And you think that's affecting... so how
it's a logjam. It's just a logjam everywhere.
For some context, let's just explain to people, if you haven't watched part 1, definitely watch that, the first in-person podcast that we did. But let's give a little context to this conversation that we had coming onto the podcast. Yes. Obviously a scout. Mm-hmm. And so what have you been seeing as of late that's been affecting the transfer portal? Like, how have you seen these things shift?
I mean, it's a waiting game for everyone. Yeah. Like, I've gone to the States a couple of times, and even guys who you think would have been committed earlier because they're that good, they're just like, kind of wait. Right. It's a ton of interest, guys just keeping tabs on who's who. Yeah. And there's a lot of that with the Canadian kids as well, too. But nobody's pulling any type of offers right now.
Yeah, it's crazy because you would think with all of that gray area, there would be a couple U Sports teams that just swoop in and be like, wait, you have no...
think so.
You have no offers? Yeah,
you would think so. Yeah. I think this is going to be the year where U Sports takes another step in terms of, like the talent pool and stuff. I think, like, we'll talk about the combine. Like, that would be a great opportunity to come in and really recruit.
Yeah. There's some guys in the gym right now that have no offers.
Have zero offers right now.
Right next door that are...
I spoke to a kid who actually had a couple offers coming off AAU last summer.
Lost them?
Yeah. If there isn't a coach or assistant talking to you, then you're pretty well lost them. And he's just like, he heard from a couple of U Sports schools, and he's just like, wait, like, am I trash? Like, did I do something wrong? I'm like, no, this is just what it is right now. Yeah. Like, you can't be picky. Right. You really can't be picky. You got to keep all your options, like, open and available. Straight up.
Yeah, keep them open and available. And then there's also the other part of that where it's like where you have, oh, shoot. Sorry, that's bugging me. When you do have an offer from a school that you like, you might not have the luxury of sitting on it too long anymore.
No, you can't. Like, I'm talking to some guys right now in Canada, and they're just like, I don't know if I want to wait till April. I just want to lock it up right now. I'm just like, you know what? You should. Honestly, you should.
It's such a FU thing for these kids, though, because, like, they think their best ball is still ahead of them. And when you have these massive AAU tournaments, when you have stuff like the Combine, which we're going to talk about later, coming up, where they can keep showing off their skills, they think rightfully that once these coaches see how good I am, there's going to be more offers that come in. But, like, you're also playing roulette with the offers that you have right now.
And I feel bad for the seniors as well, too, just because, like, they missed a year and a half to 2 years. So they're not even back to, like, their, like, apex in terms of just, like, playing and everything. So I could see why, from a Division I standpoint or a post-secondary standpoint, depending on where you are, where they're just like, you know what, I don't know if he's my level yet. I might just wait 2 years from now. I might just keep tabs on him. 2 years from now, he might be there. He might be ready to go there.
Right. Yeah. It's...
So you gotta play the long game. Straight up.
It's so frustrating because they've worked probably, most of these kids, on the better part of 10 years up to this moment, and then everything's so rushed, but also very slow at the same time for them. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's a weird... I think it snaps back into whatever normal, like, recruiting period, whatever you want to call it, soon enough. But for now, for the next, like, year or two, I think this is what you're probably going to see.
Efe, can you talk about your role here at NPH? What is, I guess, your job description? Everyone refers to you as the guy that's working really hard behind the scenes, even though you have
if you know, you know. Yeah, if you know, you know. Because I'm a super low key person, man. That's why I don't go like flaunting or doing this or doing that, and like no shot at anybody else who like kind of does that, because marketing is a big part of what you have to do in this game, straight up, right? But I just like to form relationships behind the scenes, man, and just talk to people and kind of get their advice and see and try to see what they see. I think that's the best way to do like scouting, best way to like rank people or just have basketball conversations, right? Because you might see certain things in one way, but you need people to kind of bounce different ideas off of and perspectives. That's the only way you can really do it and make it credible, I feel like, in my opinion. So for me, it's obviously the lead scout, just on the ground floor, watching games, connecting with people, whether it be parents and families, and then now on the coaching side as well too. So
what do you mean on the coaching side?
Like,
you're making connections on the coaching side?
Yeah, U Sports.
I thought you were about to.
And then
I thought you were about to bust out Efe Elite.
Nah, nothing like that. And then now it's like I'm trying to build a team of people, right? So you can't one person. A big team. One person.
There's always 3 extra people here when I walk in and announce, I've gotten way too comfortable over at North.
It's literally your second home.
It's gotten bad. Like I just walked in today just holding a camera stuff, the tripod, walked into the video room, took a couple chargers, started charging my batteries for the work.
But this is, and I think, like, I know you're making light of it, but this is the environment we kind of have here. We just want basketball people to really express themselves. That's all it is at the end of the day, right? So for me now too, it's like the team aspect, and not one person can tell the story of Canadian basketball, man. No. Whether you're scouting, whether you're video, whether you're whatever. So it's opening it up to anybody who wants to kind of come into the space. Literally.
Yeah, and what I would commend you guys on very highly is it's not exclusive to just the North Pole Hoops family.
No.
Obviously, I work very close with Wes, who I guess is a competitor with North Pole Hoops. You guys are in the same domain.
It's funny, like people, they're like, you guys competitors? Like, whether it might not even be Wes, it could be anybody, because All Points is doing their thing now. Theodore Chan's out here doing his thing. There's obviously a lot more people who want to scout, and I'm just like, no, like, you need to. And I've had parents come and talk to me about that. Like, we need a space where the people who are scouting can all talk, because it makes the game better.
Oh well, and that's how I feel. And I also want to talk about the stuff I work on more too, is the video aspect of things and content creation. And even last summer when I was nobody, I'm still relatively small, but like I come with my camera working for Eskandy Sports at a North Pole Hoops event, and no one can, like, it's all cool. Like, anybody can get their content in. Anybody.
But it's the everywhere thing. When you're it's a visibility kind of thing. Yeah. Right? Like, people understand. They know when they see you out there, or you dap enough kids out there, or coaches or whatever. It's just like, okay, you're doing something.
No, but like I also just like how you guys keep the door open. It's not like you guys brought the ladder up from behind you. It's like everybody's free to do their own thing. You guys don't burn any bridges.
It's about growing the game, man, at the end of the day. That's what it is, man.
Speaking of which, we just wrapped up what I would say my first prep season, but that had to have been a banger, right? It's hard to assume that.
I don't think it could have gone any other way or better way.
But like in terms of just like overall talent, the amount of competitive teams, again, I was ignorant coming into the season, but I've always heard Orangeville is the team. They kind of, run roughshod over the competition. And then this year you had Orangeville arguably 5th.
But that goes to show you just the level of talent we have here now.
Yeah.
It's not just one dominant program, right? I mean, Fort Erie, this is their first year.
Yeah.
Their first United Scholastic. This is their now. Granted, it's Canada elite roster, but like it's the first year. Like it takes a lot to really, because playing on an AU circuit and playing like prep basketball is 2 different things.
Oh yeah, especially when you have those teams like Fort Erie, and I don't think United's in grind. I think United's wrapped up now, right? But like Fort Erie especially, like you have this domestic schedule, which is incredibly demanding. Although I don't think they did Premier or Platinum.
No, they didn't do any of it.
So they were just OSBA grind and probably a couple tournaments or something.
So
right.
Gravity, they went to Rhode Island for the NPH side.
But like putting that together for 1 year, in a year,
special.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
especially OSBA, because OSBA doesn't just let everybody in there.
Yeah. Yo, Fort Erie is crazy because I remember, because we're gonna get into the rankings thing too. I think it's super funny. Like
Yeah.
I love these conversations because I had a lot of people come to me, but
Oh yeah.
but Fort Erie, they didn't like, people forget, yo, they didn't start the year with Jaden Clayton too.
Oh yeah, dude. I think I was
Like they did not start the year with them, and they had a Ware who they didn't have at that point too, and then he left the team. So it's like the team you saw then and the team you see now is way different.
No, I'm actually just trying to pull up the rankings. And would North Pole Hoops be the one that posted it, or is it North Pole Hoops Scouting, or where would I find it? I want to find those original rankings, because at the end of the day, it shook out to be pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate.
But like, yo, I gave you hella credit. He's like, people had questions for me. I had questions for him.
Yeah, people had questions. People had questions. I remember because I had LBA at like 10. And like LBA.
My God.
And like LBA, and I'm like, yo, LBA gets better as the season goes on. And I'm not saying LBA is like a world beater, because they're coached up very well. They're not the most talented team, but like they're a tough out. They won the Harvard Classic.
LBA, yeah. The thing is, like, the best version of them was really good.
It was really good.
Really good, because you obviously have, you know, I'll leave the scout on you, but what I would consider an elite shot maker, like NBA level, not shot creation, but like in terms of footwork coming off pin downs, stuff like that. Cam Slayton,
he's one of the 3 to 5 best scorers in the country right now.
Right.
Like, hands down. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you on it.
Yeah, straight up. And you have Deng Majak, who's a quality big. Quality big. So it's like, of course I'm gonna put them in the top 10.
Right. No, okay. Let me give you the circumstances. So I have it pulled up here. You had London 10.
Yeah.
And I forget when you guys put it out, but there was I think a preseason tournament or something at Ridley, and I watched London versus Great Lakes.
I remember that.
Shout out to Great Lakes, because
I remember that.
The Great Lakes walked into the gym and they do not pass any sort of eye test whatsoever, respectfully. But then they play you, and they've given every team problems. I don't know how many they pulled out. I think they beat Burloak, which is, we'll talk about the new teams. I think they're one of the ones that did really well this year. They gave New Horizon fits. Yep. And then they nearly beat LBA in the beginning of the season, and I think everyone just got a headache from Great Lakes. Anyways, but that was the first time I watched Great Lakes.
You're like, wait, what?
And then an LBA, and you just released the rankings, and you had London 10. I'm like, dude, Efe, like, all control delete. Like, that needs to go. And then they win the Hoop 6 Classics against an undefeated OSBA team in Royal Crown. So, shout out to Steve Houston, coach at Burlock. He's always telling me that basketball math doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You can beat a team by 10.
He's one of the smartest guys in the space, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
And I'm not going to report anything, but there's I think a coaching carousel is going to start showing itself in the prep circuit. I mean, obviously, if you're one of the better prep coaches, just like these prep players, you want to move on, you want to move up, and not saying that Steve's going anywhere. I
love that though. I love that though.
But
it's like credit to whoever is like leveling up, because you know you're putting in the work, right?
Right, especially. I can't talk about stuff like that. But anyways, I want to see. I do want to see coaching movement as well. Because
I'd love to see that.
I mean,
certain guys deserve it, man.
And Coach Tony's an anomaly in the sense that he's in a very good situation where it makes sense to have a long tenured coach in that position. But like when you're in the trenches, like you got to get results and get out too.
100%. 100%. I think it's funny. This whole space, the industry is just changing like right before our eyes, like real time. Yeah, it's kind of it's cool to see.
It's amazing to see, because I mean, no, I just made a lot of good friends, especially on the coaching side. Given the stuff that I do, so I want to see everybody win. Yeah. Let's talk about the issues with making rankings, or the challenges making rankings. What team did you absolutely hit right on the money? What are some things that you're like, oy.
Right on the money, I would say.
Let me pull it back up. I think you had United won, but that was at a time where
that was a preseason, right?
That was very early season. I think United had been undefeated for a little bit at that point.
They were running over everyone by like 20-30.
Yeah.
You know, I think like they were one of the 2 top teams.
Yeah, no, I think oddly enough, quarterfinals or final 8 onwards, and the OSBA was a pretty on the nose representation of the order of the prep teams.
100%.
I mean, I don't know if the top 8 teams made it to the final 8, but I think the top 5 were in there, and I think the top 5
and that's what
ranked themselves accordingly.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I think I had Orangeville ahead of Crestwood. Crestwood came back, won that game. Sure, I think they're about even.
Yeah. You had Fort Erie 5, which like early season. Remember, this is pre-Leonard is an NBA prospect.
You know what I mean?
Type thing. So yeah, I mean, Edge at
with
6.
No Clayton, and people like Clayton changed the whole dynamic of that team, man.
Yeah.
He put everyone back in their proper like positions or roles.
Right.
You know, like a strong leading like point guard matters so much, as you saw.
But like it's a double-edged sword, because you had a prospect that was developing into an NBA prospect, largely because, in my opinion,
he had the freedom.
He had freedom, and he was making very good decisions as a playmaker. Like he was facilitating. He was getting assists in the beginning.
But it made him more efficient, I feel.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did. But like the fact that he was able to kind of put that on the back burner and allow a guy like Jaden Clayton to come in and create. And I know all these,
because he did take a backseat a little bit.
Well, I mean, he started scoring more, and yeah, he allowed Clayton to be a ball dominant guard, which is not. Everyone says always a ball dominant. Like that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing.
You need someone to organize.
If you're that good, it's not a bad thing.
Right. And
he doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, and the best example of that was the OSBA finals. Clayton wins MVP, and they kept going to him to create down the stretch. And you have an NBA with deferring, which I think some people see as like a weakness, or like he should be taking over the close games. And I think that's maturity. I don't think wherever Leonard goes next step, if it's college, if it's whatever, if it's pro, like he has to be able to take a backseat, and he did that in a mature way.
There's only a select few people who have the ball in their hands for like 7, 8, 9 seconds of possession. Man.
Yeah.
So you better get used to it.
And how many?
For all of them, get used to that.
And how many of them aren't point guards?
There you go.
Like,
so, I mean, I didn't disagree with Clayton actually getting the MVP of that game.
No, I thought it was deserved.
I thought it was deserved. But Leonard is Leonard. So someone's like, yeah, like not necessarily comparing them, but like, if LeBron is playing, you're always gonna give LeBron MVP,
right? Yeah,
that kind of thing. But no, Clayton definitely deserved that, man. He played really, really well, and I love Clayton because the thing with him that people wanted to see when he came back home was how aggressive could he be scoring the basketball and could he shoot it? Right. And he's got so much better. And maybe it's one of those things where he could always do it, but he just felt more confident in his game to really take those shots and open up the floor for everybody.
Yeah,
it was it made a huge difference.
And I don't know what kind of offers he has right now, but it's really frustrating to see people apply criticism based on physical attributes when you watch the games. And how many double-digit plus assist games did he have in the grind session, let alone OSBA?
You know what I mean? He broke the record.
Like he
assisted a game.
Yeah, was it 16, 18, something like that?
16 or 17, something like that.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, yes, he's a 6-foot guard. I think he's a legit 6 foot though. I don't think he's that much smaller.
He's like 5'11", 6 foot.
I'm 6 foot. He's my height. So if you're calling me 5'11", I'm gonna fight you.
Is he short?
He's not.
I think he's shorter than you, bro.
You think so?
I don't know. Man.
Maybe I was slouching.
That's like,
but I know every time I walk out of Max or a gas station, I'm 6 foot. That's all I know. I look at the sign and it's like that's the 6. And correct the posture, and I'm 6. No. But anyways,
but it does matter though. I think like measurables definitely matter. It matters,
but like,
but if you could play, you could play.
How much proof do you need? Like he's producing. Although he did have a lot of turnovers in the OSBA finals, I thought.
And
a lot of turnovers.
He was gassed though. He was gassed in that game.
Yeah, and they also like to put Leonard at the top of the little diamond press there, and like he's gonna get gassed too. But like, I mean, you gotta win.
You gotta win.
Straight up. And they did.
Straight up.
Shouts to them. Shouts to United. And the thing about United is like they have. Is Vashon graduating this year?
Not next year.
Next year, and then they have the stud Efe Ashakah.
I mean, they're gonna come back and still be.
Yeah, they still have
good.
2 quasi starters. Vashon's a starter. You know what I mean? Like he comes off the bench, he's a starter.
No, but he's a starter.
Yeah, so like they're gonna have a really good chance to run it back.
I'm interested to see how he comes back next year, because I know he had a little bit of a tough end. He had a tough game, but the ending was kind of tough too. But he seems like a kid who's like will bounce back. I think the right guidance, the right people around him and stuff, and he'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're talking to Vashon probably next week. So we're gonna pick his brain a bit. I'm gonna talk to him about that. I want to ask him about the mentality he comes into games with, because he likes to express himself after every basket. So we're gonna talk about that. But that's foreshadowing to probably next week.
Yeah.
So if there was a surprise team of the year, what you got?
Surprise team of the year. Wow.
For me, it's Great Lakes. It's not even a slight at Great Lakes. They're so well coached. But they didn't produce at any equitable level. But I was surprised.
Shout out to them though. Shout out to Great Lakes.
But I was surprised every time I watched them play, because they should be down double digits and they're up by 8 heading into the fourth.
Surprise team of the year. That's a great question. Could it be in a? Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that.
I'll fast forward this part.
I'll say Crown.
Crown? Yeah,
I'll say Crown.
Yeah, undefeated in OSBA.
I'll say Crown. Now there was a lot of controversy because of their schedule. Crown, I think what I expected from Crown wasn't what I got. Right. I think that's what surprised me. I think
what were you expecting?
I think different guys stepped up that I wasn't necessarily expecting to take that step so soon or right now. Yeah. I think Mara took a step that I didn't know he had. Right. And Mike Evbogaru as well too. I like Mike a lot and I like his game, but he was most games he was their best player. Right. That was I was oh okay, that was good to see. I would say that I would say them, and they were super deep too. To make an argument, they were the most talented team, straight up, up and down the roster.
Well crowned.
To make the argument, yeah, you can make the argument.
I'd argue with it.
Yeah, you could.
No, I was blown away by when you talk about deep teams like United, obviously have arguably 5-star 5-lead prospects. Yeah, potentially come off the bench, and then you have they fit together really well. And
I kind of knew what I was getting from everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah. I got you. And then off the same sort of token, is there a player that really surprised you that maybe shot up your rankings, or that you ended up seeing yourself recommend to a lot more programs than you thought maybe you would have been heading into the year?
I think a big conversation I'm having right now is between the two-way guys, and Mara and Osei Koji. Yeah. I think that's I've had a lot of fun watching them. Yeah. Mature and grow this year as players. Yo, Mara's first quarter and a half or whatever it was versus Fort Erie was special, bro. Yeah. That was special. That was he had a poster dunk. He was hot from 3. He was getting to the rim. It was kind of crazy. I'm trying to think of guys who've gone toe to toe with Leonard. Yeah. That was an outbreak. I didn't see that from anyone all year. Off the top of my head to actually kind of think about it. Right. And he could play both. He could defend really, really well. He might be the best defender in the country too. Right. So he's someone I'm super high on right now, for sure. Osei's a little bit of the same as well too. I wish he was a little bit more aggressive because I think he's that talented. Yeah. But
I mean, picking your spots on that roster too is tough because you have a lot of guys that are gonna get their shots up.
Yeah, and Cam Slaymaker, man.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
Cam. I knew he was good, but he's really good. Yeah. He's really good, man.
I like the idea that he's a plug-and-play guy.
I think he can fit in any system.
You're right. And he's going to stretch the floor. He doesn't need the ball.
He doesn't need the ball.
Klay Thompson.
I'm not going to go out.
I mean, but it's if you had to compare
his game, yeah,
game style is probably similar.
I think D1s are super sleeping on him. I think they're very much sleeping on him.
Okay, so if you have a guy that can score at will, how much defense are you willing to trade off? If you're getting 3 every...
You got to be a passable defender.
Right.
I think he can guard his position.
You're right.
I think he can. He's 6'5". He's pretty big.
He's not small.
He might not be vertically the most athletic person, but he's not getting torched defensively or anything like that.
Yeah. And that's a common criticism. I mean, most of the good shooters in prep are... At least eye test, probably not what you want guarding the wing.
And a lot of them are just standstill. Cam is moving without it. Again, here, you were saying, he's not super creative ball in hand or anything like that, but he can get to his spots. Right. And he's going to consistently knock it down. Right. So, I love Cam.
Okay. I'm going to take a quick 2-second break here just to reset the camera. And we're back.
What's up?
Hey. Yeah, we were talking about Cam Slaymaker, some of the most surprising players of the year. Got a couple more prep questions, and then we're going to transition to something else. But, like, based off the Cam Slaymaker conversation, if you were down to and you needed a bucket, who are you going to in the prep circuit?
Leonard. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the clear.
He's 6'10", 6, bro. You can't defend him.
Yeah.
And it's funny because
they kept calling the carries on him over OSBA weekends, which is funny. It's fair, but it's also funny because everybody carries on every team.
It's just because he's so long that it's just more easy to see. But nah, man, he had that one like where he spun, got to the post, took a one-legged like fade away, and I was just like, Jesus Christ. Man.
It's weird because like the harder shots on paper, he makes at a higher clip. I would argue than a spot up three or a pull up three, or like the shots that you'd practice more often. I feel like he's more comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
100%. I think it's Leonard, and then I think there's like a gap.
Yeah.
In the next tier, like I'd have Cam in that group. I think.
Yeah.
Cam, you could put Zayden in there if you wanted to. Sheesh.
Yeah, shout out to Zayden Cross. When he's on, and he's really going,
he's more scorer. He's more scorer than shooter though.
Yeah. He's more absolutely.
Scorer who can shoot.
Yeah. And then so you have Leonard. Who would you want guarding Leonard in that same scenario? Now you're on the opposite bench. You need to stop Leonard.
Morrow or Ose. Yeah, that's it.
No, I want you to pick one.
Pick one?
We're putting you on the spot here. We got 7 seconds left in the game. They call it ISO for Leonard. Who do you hope is...
I'll go Ose.
Yeah?
I'll go Ose. He's got a 7-foot wingspan.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Do we know what Leonard's wingspan is? Like, his height is 6'11".
I think it's 7'1" or 7'2", something like that.
Okay, so it's not, like, insane.
No, it's not super insane. But still, I haven't seen his shot get blocked, like, just, like, taking a jumper.
No. I wanted to... No, because Leonard's listed at 6'11".
He's probably 6... No, he's 6'10" and a half. He's 6'10", 6'10" and a half.
Okay, well, we're going to find out some real heights of some players at the Game Speaks Combine coming up. I guess by the time this drops, it'll be in a couple days.
Yep. Tuesday.
Tell us, what is the Game Speaks Combine? What are we looking forward to? Where did it derive from? I think it has a little bit of a history, or is this the first time it's being run?
I mean, so we've always done showcase camps, whether here in McMaster, U of T. I know the guys, Elias, Tarek, Mike. They used to travel around, obviously, like Saskatchewan, so forth, BC. So for me, it kind of derived from one. With COVID happening, I was like, okay, like we need OSBA is great, Premier, Platinum. I'm like, what's the one platform where we could house top dudes from each class, literally, and just put them on a court? Because I was just like, man, I'm just watching them. Like, guys are putting up 40, 50, and I'm like, is that a real 40, 50?
Right.
How can I get a true evaluation of who's who in that kind of setting, right? So I'm like, okay, it's the best way to do it. No politics, just straight up the best guys on one court. You get your trainers and they do their thing, and you bring in as many basketball people as possible. So
break down the format of it for us. So it's a 2-day event. What's day one? So
day one, skill training. We want to get into a little bit of classroom stuff, just watching film, breaking it down, because I think that's a lot of guys don't watch film, and I do not understand.
Wait, how many people are at the Game Speaks Combine?
How many people? Players or?
Yeah, how many players?
Oh, we're talking 80 to 100.
And they're all doing film?
We're split up into groups.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you have guys who might take on the film portion, and then you rotate between that.
Okay, so there's like stations and everything.
Meditating, visualization. Right. Like these things are super important for these guys as players trying to grow as people and then as players on the court. I feel like so you get that as well too. There might be something where I'm speaking or we have a guest speaker kind of talk to these guys just from a mentorship kind of level as well too.
Yeah.
And then we get into some competitive stuff. little drills, could be shooting type stuff, 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get some, from 5v5 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then day 2, a little bit more heavier on the skill development side, and then a straight scrimmaging, and then a top prospects game.
So how is the top prospects game going to look? Like what's going on
so
there?
So it'll be myself, and we'll have a couple other guys who are scouting.
Yeah.
Just kind of going around, obviously watching, and then through the scrimmages as well to kind of pick who we feel deserve to be in that game. So it's done. We don't have it set in stone right now who's going to be in there. It's like, actually show up and show and prove.
Yeah.
And if you deserve to be in the game, you'll be in the game. That's it.
I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but like I don't know if I can put you on the spot any more than this. So what I'm about to ask. So like if a top prospect dogs it on day 1, are we gonna not invite him to day 2?
No, you don't deserve to be there. You don't deserve to be there.
Right. So your season goes out the door.
No, if someone comes to the camp and they show that they deserve that spot more than that person,
right?
Like I don't want, like, and that was the point of it anyways. I'm not inviting anyone to come and just dog it. It's not an all-star. It's not an all-star game setting. It's an actual, like, it's a real camp. Like I want competitive, dog eat dog kind of stuff. Like that's what I wanted, So no, do not come in here and like literally just dog it. Like like nah, because you won't get picked.
Right.
And then I'm not gonna feel sorry about it, to be honest. And nobody else who's picking guys is gonna feel sorry about it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's gonna be a real test because there's gonna be some big names there.
But it's not a disrespecting. I think you guys need to carry on that mentality anywhere you go. It's like,
no, but like I feel like that'll just add to the camp, right? Like, look, this guy was doing all this during the year, but they dogged it on day 1. They didn't pay attention or they didn't try it, so we didn't invite him back. That'll open the door for
straight up.
Yeah, because you can make a ranking based on the list right now and be like, these are the people I think are going to be there. But if you're not doing that and you're just taking these were the 12 or whatever 24 best players of the weekend,
100%.
I think that's more intriguing to me. So also a major part of it is that you guys are going to be live streaming both days or just the second day?
No, I'm just going to live stream the second day.
Okay.
So the scrimmages and then the top prospects game, we're gonna live stream, and then I know that I've been getting a ton of questions about like coaches. Anyone that I speak to, which is a lot of people, we're sending up the tape to everyone.
Right. I think I saw the school list. You guys posted the school list. How many schools are getting the link? Do you have the number, or is it just like
off the top of my head? It was like 90 to 100.
Yeah,
something like that.
So, and these are a mixture of U Sports and D1, or is this D1, or what do you think?
Mixture of U Sports. There might be some U Sports guys in the building, anyways, but D1, some D2s I speak to, JUCOs as well too. So
you're gonna have a full house, inside and virtually, watching the showcase. What has to happen in your mind for this to be deemed a successful Game Speaks Combine?
Great question. I think the guys show up and play straight up. Because it comes down, we can do as part as organizers and people just like making, the glitz and the, players got to show up, man, and play straight up.
This is kind of like your Super Bowl in a way. Because behind the scenes, you're talking to all these coaches and scouts, and you're saying, "Hey,
but that's what it's about. That's what if the guys show up, and people leave, and they get interest from schools, and people watching. It's like, oh, that kid really stood out.
Undoubtedly,
then it's a success for us.
Yeah. But I know you're a selfless person. But let's think a little bit selfishly here. You are constantly talking to coaches and scouts or coaches and organizations about these players that you've seen throughout the year. These players then come through your doors and do this showcase. You gotta admit, it'll be a good luck if your recommendations are starting to hoop out.
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It comes with the job, bro. It comes with the job. That's why I
behind the scenes he doesn't like to think that way.
Nah, man. I don't toot my horn like that. No, I'm just honestly, I'm happy that through the year I just connect with a lot of different people, and they're like, yo, like, we really mess with you. We want to support. Like, I want to come pull up. And I want to hoop. That means the most to me more than anything. You know what I mean?
Right. Give me a name under the radar that you think can maybe make some noise this weekend.
One of my favorite guys, because he's playing in our showcase league right now, is Jaheim Merrifield. I like him a lot. I like Jaheim a lot.
Oh, that's a deep cut. That's because he played a little bit for Burloak North didn't really do the prep season. He was
he didn't do the prep
guy.
season. He just
so
went
you
and
guys had
played
him in
high school.
house a lot this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so he's leading our showcase league in scoring right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna.
He's a prep player.
He's a prep player, straight up. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a few guys.
And he'd be getting like real minutes
Yeah.
on some teams, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like he's not gonna wow you physically, but he's a dog.
Yeah.
And I like dogs. So
Yeah, it's
he's one of my favorite
It's
guys.
funny because obviously him, Isaiah McCray are cut from the same Burlow clot,
Mhm.
and they have similar
Mm-hmm.
play styles and like.
I think if you want to keep it Burlock wise too, Josh Mukundilla, because I
Yeah.
didn't see him all year.
Nobody saw him.
Nobody saw him, but during the summer he looked really.
Yeah.
Like, he looked like he could be really good. I think I want to see him in that environment as
Yeah.
well too. Boston Harker coming.
Yeah.
He's coming from Calgary. You know what I mean? So
Oh, let's go.
and I think he's gonna do well in this kind of environment too, where
Right.
it's up and down. It's just kind
Yeah.
of. I think he's gonna do some impressive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's a lot of guys I'm looking forward to seeing. You know?
If you follow me on Twitter,
Yeah.
you'll know that I'm excited to see SK from Oakville Prep.
Your guy, yes.
He's
I've seen
one
some
of my-
tape of him. He looks really good. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah.
He's been tagging me a lot on Twitter and stuff. I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
he's
yeah.
trying to let his
I
game
see
speak.
Dustin McTaggart. He's
Shout out Dustin, man. I love
Shout out Dustin. He's pushing his guys too, and Elijah Mahi too.
Unfamiliar.
So he graduates this year.
Mhm.
He's at Potter's House in Florida right now.
Oh,
He used to be with Bill Crothers. He's 6'6",
Okay.
guard.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a bigger body, but he could score the shit out of the ball. If I
Yeah.
can bleep that out.
I'm not bleeping that out.
There you go.
I'm sending it right to Tark too.
Yeah, he could score the shit out the ball. He could shoot it. I mean, I don't think there's anything he can't do offensively.
Mhm.
To be honest, really good size. So he's coming back, and that's what I love too. These guys who are coming back from the States, like their
Mhm.
March break, they're like, "Yo, I want to come," and I'm just
Right.
like, "Perfect,"
Right.
you know.
Yeah, and let's clear up one misconception before we wrap it up. Went a little longer than we expected,
That's all good.
but we're heading into the rep season. Obviously, a lot of stuff's gonna be held at the playground. NPH is in the playground. Give these rep players a vote of confidence. You just recommend that one of your underdogs is gonna be a guy that just only played rep all season.
Yeah,
So I just kind of want you to give a shout out to them. Be like,
100%.
Efe's in the gym. He watches rep. There's an avenue from rep.
I'm
where you
going
wanna
to
go.
be in the gym. My team will be in the gym. This is the thing about these guys have to understand too. Like there's always somebody watching. Like you're gonna hear from somewhere. Like, yo, this kid did this kid did that. You need to check him out. You need to invite him to the combine.
Right.
You know, I have people who are out there, doing their thing and they're watching and evaluating
Right.
as well too. So, yo, pull up, man. Don't act too big for this, too big for that. Or it's like, like, yo, straight up, come hoop.
I was thinking the opposite way, honestly, because it's like I think there's a lot of guys that don't get to play prep, probably largely due to the money situation.
That too. That's a great point. That's a great point too.
So,
Like, that, I mean, not everyone's path is the same.
Right.
Sure. And I think we talked about that literally the
Yeah.
first time we did the podcast. Like, some guys might not want to play prep, but you can
Yeah.
play the showcase league, and I'm gonna be here every weekend.
Right, exactly.
So
So yeah, it's not prep be all end all. I'm sure it's gonna. It's definitely trending towards that way, but there's still time.
no, we can't get it twisted though. Prep is still.
Prep.
I guess it's this year was a little bit different.
Right. Yeah.
Because we always talk about it being
Yeah.
watered down and this and that, but no, prep is still like the highest level form of high school basketball you can play. We can't get it twisted.
Right.
But there is different avenues.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Efe, thank you for coming on. Part 3, I'm sure, is inevitably coming in the future. I'll link up with you soon. Probably end of summer. See how the NPH league goes.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude. Especially give me a Burloak team against any other Halton team.
100%.
Get the fireworks going.
Also, that CNIT is coming up this summer as well too. Definitely stay on the look for that. This summer is gonna be crazy for hoops, man. Between AAU, what we got going on over here,
Yeah.
Jane and Finch, hoops is. I could see everyone's just trying to take it to another level
Right.
right now. So I'm excited for it.
Well, you'll find me right here stealing your guys' water bottles and chargers and stuff like that.
Hey, man. Welcome to anybody, man.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
See ya.